Hey everybody, welcome to another episode. Really excited, like I said, we excited to kick this thing off. And one of the things that's the biggest about what we do is how we do things right here at Senior Select, and kind of like what our business model is, what our foundation is on how can we get predictable results. We have to have a predictable system, right? We have to have something duplicatable. Everyone always talks about that in business. And so it's real simple here at Senior Select. It's good contracts, good carriers, and really, really good leads. I think the training as well, throwing the training in there, training, leads, contracts, and the carriers that we work with. And so one thing that I've always done is I've always done field sales, Frank. Obviously, there's a million different ways to do this business. You can do Zooms, you can do over the phone, you can do different styles of leads. But I've found my niche in final expense, which I know you have. I know you guys do a little bit of other stuff too, but the bulk of what you're doing is final expense. And you've been doing it the same way for a long, long time. And so that's the reason why we, like I said earlier, we can get such predictable results. We know how the leads are pulling. We know which carriers are staying in business and operating with the best products. And then the trainings that we do, we're learning the nuts and bolts of that. And I think that putting all of that stuff together is what kind of encompasses our business model. And when you do that, you get success. And so it really starts, the first thing I kind of want to talk about is because if we don't have leads, we don't have anything. I've worked at insurance agencies that didn't have leads. And if you don't have clients to go see, you're probably not going to be able to build a very big book. And you're probably not going to be able to duplicate yourself through others. And so when it comes to leads, Frank, I know you've done them a long time. You've done them different ways. Maybe talk about the progression of leads, of where they came from the early 2000s to where you see that they are at now, and kind of where we're going forward with those.
Sure. So really, if you want to talk about the different types of leads, there's so many different types of leads now versus when I started, Senior Select many years ago. Back then, all we basically had was direct mail leads. That was the only type of leads you had. You would go out, you would just mail a demographic, just an age. You didn't really have an income verification you could do. You didn't have any specifics on the demographics where you could really target and hone in who you wanted your audience to be. So we were just kind of flying by our seat of our pants. We would send out leads, we'd get them back, and we'd go work them. And you know what? We did pretty well with that. I literally started mailing leads myself, hand stuffing envelopes. I used to have my daughter's friends would come over after school and on the weekends, and they would hand stuff envelopes, and that's how we started. Then I bought a mailing machine, and we started running 4,000 an hour. Then I bought another mailing machine, and we started running another 8,000 an hour. And before you know it, looked up, we were doing 2 million pieces of mail a month, which is a lot. So, and I had to come to a decision at that point. We were doing so much mail and there was so much demand for leads. We literally had to decide, okay, are we going to be in the lead business or are we going to be in the insurance business? So obviously I chose to be in the insurance business, and I sold my mailing equipment. I taught a local print company in town here how to do the mail, how to structure everything and what we were looking for, and we just continued to do the direct mail. Well, as time would go by, as we all know, postage has gone up. So many different factors come into play on direct mail, and quite honestly, people these days, you just don't have as many people using direct mail as they used to, but we still do it, and we still do a lot of it. So we still do direct mail even today, but now we've integrated different types of leads. We have Google leads, we have digital leads, we have internet leads, we have live transfer leads. I can go on and on and on. The lead business has changed so much over the years, but we've had to adjust, and we've been able to adjust and with the times and what's going on in the industry right now. I think that you have to be able to reach your target audience, and there's so many different ways that you're able to do that through all the technology that's out there and available now. We've kind of embraced that. Took us a minute to get there, I'll be honest, because I'm an old school guy, as I always say, but I've learned to listen to young people like you and many others who say, hey, you got to look at doing this. And so I've kind of opened my mind, for lack of a better way to put it, to look at different types of leads and use the different types of leads. And we've been very successful with that as well. And so it's all different times. Again, the different types of leads we use, it allows us to just get in front of more customers, which allows you to make more sales, for our field partners and all. So that's kind of the overview of leads.
And that's all a lead is, right, Frank? It's how do we get in front of somebody? Because once, as a field agent, and for those of you out there that do field sales where we're knocking on doors, we're going into the house, we're doing a presentation, making a sale. Once we're in the house, it's the same, right? Doesn't matter if it was an internet lead, a mortgage protection lead, an annuity lead, whatever it is, whatever you're going in there with, what your presentation is, once you're in the door, it's the same thing. And the reason why I say that is because you've honed in the demographic. So we've got a specific demographic, no matter what type of lead that we're going to see, that you've put us into, to where we know that they fit the products that we serve. And so that's the biggest part, is like, hey, this person might not be just chomping at the bits to buy a policy from you, right? Like, they're not just waiting for you to show up to buy an insurance policy, no doubt. But they are aware of what they did, what action they did. And it makes it so much easier for me, because I'd work something called a check lead. It's the form of a direct mail lead with a little bit of a check that goes out to the client to encourage them, obviously, to get information about life insurance. And so by doing that, we're able to get the cost down pretty good, because I know when direct mail leads started, they were pretty affordable because the postage was low and the return rates were high. Well, over time that changed, and that forced us into the digital way of doing things for a little while, which was fine. It was just another lead. We just knew we had to get a little bit more of them. And so that's the big thing, is kind of knowing what to expect with leads. And so getting back into the direct mail side over this past 2 years for my team, we've doubled and tripled just because of that, because it's made it to where I feel like we just took a 20-year timestamp back in time, being able to get leads back at that $20 mark for direct mail. That brought me back, because you saw me, Frank, the past couple years. I've tried it all. I've tried it all.
Yeah.
I tried mortgage protection. I tried live transfers. I tried Medicare as my primary, because the lead costs and the marketing dollars. I tried annuity leads. I literally tried all those. And so landing where I'm at now in such a happy place with still the option for those other ones has made me super, super thankful for all the things that you've offered to us.
It's funny. Direct mail leads cost $6 when I started doing those leads. That's what our cost was, $6 a lead. So, cost really wasn't too big of an issue then, and then they went up to $9, and then $14, and then $18, and so on and so forth. Finally, we ended up at $38 a lead. Now we're at $40. But here's the thing. One thing that we do that's different from other shops and other IMOs that you could affiliate with is that we do cost averaging. And by doing leads on a large scale basis, that allows us to bring the overall cost of everybody's leads down. Okay, for example, what I'm saying, if you were to just say, all right, I want to mail whatever county, North Carolina, Wake County, North Carolina, whatever, you're looking at about a $60 per lead. But by doing cost averaging, we're able to generate everybody's leads at $38 to $40 a lead. So that everybody benefits from that, and that's something that we've been able to do. And doing leads on such a large scale like we do allows us to do that. You as an individual wouldn't be able to do that on your own, and then if you're working with a smaller agency or smaller IMO, you don't get the benefit of that either. So that's one of the things that I love about our lead program.
And that's the thing that I love most, is the fact that you taught me the nuts and bolts of that, of the counties we might not want to always go to this county, but this county has to be dropped to keep the lead cost to this point. Otherwise, if you started having to charge 35 leads for the honey hole county every single time, then that's going to start kind of just making things more murky, right? Because the more we can keep a standard cost for a lead, keep things simple across the board, and keep business moving and duplicatable is the best way of doing it. And so understanding the counties we've got to drop, and then understanding how to do sections. That's one thing, Frank, that you really helped me with, because we run a travel model where we'll go to different areas, and I was having the biggest trouble getting my groups together in those areas, because we talked about a business model. My business model is the 3 to 5, 7 man, woman groups that travel to an area. They work that area, and then we keep the leads fresh, and we keep going to the next area. And we have a nice little cycle of those sections on drops. And so not getting crazy specific into things, but these are the type things you have to understand as an agent, so that way you have a good level of expectation about what you're experiencing out there, and knowing why we're going to those different areas constantly, and knowing why we're dropping certain counties. The more you understand this business, the more you're going to believe in it, because it is a great business. I've seen people, I have a person in my team that's going to deposit over $1 million this past year. Like, that's unreal. Like, that's a business at this point, Frank. And so
it is,
to be able to like have that organized and understand that, then it helps you get to there, because belief is everything. You have to believe in what you're doing to be able to go out there and put forth the work to achieve it. Because if you don't believe in it, you're never going to put forth the work, because you subconsciously you don't think that it's possible. And so understanding all these little nooks and crannies of the lead business and the lead side of things is so important. And so those sections for us, they're great, because you limit those to anywhere from about 12 to 15 counties, and you rotate those. And by doing that, you're always getting the freshest leads. People are being able to see people within 2 weeks, 3 weeks of when they send in a lead. Whereas if you're just doing a mass covering the whole state, you might have some counties that are getting 3-6 months old before you're able to go see them. And that, I'm not saying that you can't write business or you can't run a successful business doing that, but you're just not going to be as effective as the group that figures out the way to get to the leads 2 to 3 weeks from when they send it in. Because if you can do that and then trust your IMO to not resell the leads, that's a big part too, is not resell it, and then also trust that you're in there in the right place with something that's fresh, that the person says, man, I just catched that last week. You know what I mean?
I do want to shout out to Jessica too. She's done a tremendous job. Jessica's worked so hard on the lead program. When she came to work here 3 years ago, I really put a impossible task in front of her. I said, Jessica, we got to get our lead cost under control. And she really worked hard with using technology and using information and tracking things to where we were able to do that. The second thing about leads, and I think the more important thing is we put people in areas where they can be successful. It's just like you were saying. You know, there's certain areas, quite honestly, that some people just can't go to, okay? They're just not going to be able to make sales there. People aren't going to be receptive to them. We understand that. We know that through the trial and error, and through the 38 years of experience, we've learned that. And then finally, embracing technology, okay? For example, we know a 68-year-old female in Troup County, Georgia is this percentage that she might buy a plan. Okay, we know these things because of technology. It allows us to track, number one, who returns leads, number two, if they are a buyer or not, and then finally, if they're going to keep their plan or not. Those are very important factors when it comes to making a business model. Okay, and I think that's why our closing percentages are so high. Our agents literally close over 50% of the leads. If they sit down with a client and they get to the point of showing them figures, and in our world, putting the pitch pad over in front of them, it's a 50-50 shot they're going to make a sale, and that's pretty darn good, I think, in today's world. What do you think?
I think that's pretty good, especially for once you're getting the sits, right? So it's like numbers-wise, what I would expect, because I've watched it, right? I've gotten to experience it live, and I'm not the best sales guy in the world. I have some agents with me that blow me out of the water sales-wise. Frank, this guy right here, if you knew his stats on sales, blows me out of the water when it comes to that. But what I've seen is if somebody can get about 25 to 30 leads in their hands and get anywhere from 12 to 15 presentations shown, I just have never seen somebody that's done that consistently and not been a 20K a month producer. Frank, it's impossible to do. And everyone that I talk to in our group, and they know it, and that's why I love the connectiveness that I have with my team, is they know that that's the numbers, right? And so they know whether they did the work or not. So there's never any confusion there, because we're talking from a place of honesty and knowing kind of what to expect. And so I think that part's huge. And so being able to see 25, 30 leads, getting anywhere from 12 to 15 presentations or sits shown, you should be selling around 5 to 8 applications if you're doing that. And those are just the numbers. Those are the numbers long term. Average app size is really simple as well. It's anywhere from about $65 to $70 at this point in the insurance industry and how we do things, because we're final expense based, right? Now, if you're getting into like a mortgage protection style, or maybe a little bit different style of lead, you might see a higher per sale basis. But guess what you're going to do for that, Frank? You're going to pay a lot more for the lead, right?
Yeah.
So, like, think about it. What did we do when we came out with a $20 direct mail lead again a couple years ago? We just talked about going back 20 years. What happens when you're sitting there with a $50, $60, $70 lead? And yes, guys, I did mortgage protection. It was a blast. I'm not saying that it can't be done. It's just so seasonal. And what I mean by that is, like, the leads can go from that. They can have a $20, $30 difference based on return rates, just based off of the economy and what's going on in the economy. And so that's a little scary to me.
There's just too many mitigating factors, I think, on the mortgage protection side. Nothing wrong with that business. So there's a lot of people that do it and do it at a very high level. But for us, there's so many mitigating factors, such as, what interest rates are doing, what creditors are doing. Now, all that comes into play, and so there's so many things that are just literally out of your control. And that causes chaos and volatility, and you just can't build a business around that, in my opinion. So we focus on what we do well, which is final expense. We know you have predictable results when it comes to how many leads will pull, and then how many sales you can generate off those leads that do pull. So yeah. I like predictability.
No doubt.
And it is a foregone conclusion. We know these things because of years and years and years and years and years of doing this. We know what the results will be. So at this point, all you got to do is work the program, work the platform, and then and it'll work for you. You know what the results will be.
Yep. And what's kept me, Frank, in that final expense mode, away from kind of that mortgage protection is because it's been 13 years now, right? I've actually seen two different times. Right now, we're living in one where interest rates go up or the housing market declines. And if you don't, what did we talk about earlier? Supply and demand of people that we can go show our presentation to. And I don't want to see a lead that's been bought 3 to 5 times already. And the reason why I'm saying that is when you go out and you work that mortgage protection lead, in my opinion, the cost of it is so high, the amount of them being able to produce is so low, because there's only if you refi or if you purchased a home do you kind of turn into a lead in mortgage protection. I'm sure there's some other ways, but that limits the amount of people that you're kind of creating leads on almost. And so that's why I feel like the cost goes so high with them. And with a high cost lead, what has always come with that, Frank? A resold lead, because you got to cover the cost of that lead. And so I've stayed away for that reason, and for the volatility of the market reason. Now I understand that obviously leads are leads. You can always just go work a different lead if that market does become volatile. But just like any successful business, I had to learn this the hard way, honestly, from Frank telling me over and over, is you have to have a narrow path. Now, once you get to the size of Frank and you have other groups that might be operating just slightly different, you might start being able to jump into some stuff and maybe breaking a little bit of focus. But until you get to that 20 million, 30 million, where you're at now, Frank, it's like you've got to keep things simple and you've got to keep focused. You don't see Chick-fil-A selling burgers. I always say that. It's like they have a strict way that they're doing things and they're killing it. They kill it in their business model. And so that's what I try to create here. I try to create common sense responses to people with honesty and transparency. It's never a biased thing, because I've tried all those things, right, Frank? So have you. And so we talk from a standpoint of like, this is why we try to focus on teaching people to do it a certain way. It doesn't mean that the other ways of doing things are off. There's millionaires doing it that way, right? It's just a little bit harder for X, Y, and Z reasons. You know what I mean?
I always say, I like keeping things simple. I'm a simple guy, obviously, and old school, but if you do these 3 things, and I've said these over and over and over again, anybody's been on our calls, anybody affiliates, they know this, okay? Number 1, buy 30 fresh leads a week. Number 2, make Monday a work day. And then finally, just finish your leads. That's when you stop work every week, when you finish your leads. If you can start with those 3 things, we'll get to the rest of it, okay? But start there. Keep it simple, do those 3 things, and success is really virtually guaranteed if you will do those 3 things.
That's right. That is 100% right.
Just to kind of wind up here, and I know we're getting short on time, but here's the thing. I am so excited about the future episodes we're going to have on this. We're going to bring in some of our top producers. And let me tell you, We have some of the best producers in this country. I promise you, some of the best producers ever been in this business. Literally, our top 15, you have to write 40K just to get in our top 15. And that's unheard of.
That's just on the field side.
That's just the field
You
side.
should hear what the telesales side does.
So we've had to develop 2 divisions now because we're so big in telesales now. We do a lot of premium on that. But, I'm a field guy, always have been, always will be. I'm an agent at heart, so I know what you struggle with. But I'm so excited about what we're about to do. I'm so excited about the guest speakers and the people that we've got coming in that are going to share and participate in this. Just really just want to pour back into this business. This business has given me everything, and working with everybody has just given back so much to me. I want to give back to them now, okay, and share things that I've learned and things that we've managed to be successful with over the years. It's time to give that back and time to do something really special. I appreciate you wanting to do this with us, and hey, we're looking forward to having our guest speakers in and looking forward to future episodes.
That's right. I can't wait. Super excited, guys. Adios.